Hi everybody, this is Seth from Coming Out Tarot. This is just a quick check-in about the Coming Out Tarot forecast for the last week. It's July 6th. There was a lot of stuff that went on this last week, and it was a pretty intense week. Overarchingly, I thought it was interesting. There was a ton of swords, so lots of battling going on, and there were two aces, both of which were the same ace of swords. So there were probably new challenges in the effort to coming out, things you didn't expect, things you weren't ready for, and stuff you had to address. The larger spiritual journey was represented by the Fool, the Devil, the Hermit, and the Hierophant. And I think when the spiritual journey opens up with the Fool, it means anything's possible. We're about to learn something entirely new. And on a journey to coming out, it is not unusual to have the Fool show up first. In this instance, because the Fool did and the Devil followed, what we ended up with was probably a little too much intensity in a direction that may not have been the right one, in which case you might have been learning some poor or bad habits that you might be passing on to others. So I would take some reflection of the week and see if there's anything that maybe needs to be removed or revised. Also, there was a helper that showed up. We had one court card. It was the Father of Wands, and I remember during the week the Father of Wands was the person that was in the way. They were in the way, and that they were creating obstacle for the action that needed to address. And as an obstacle, hopefully they were a lesson, because they were a bad lesson. You know what I mean? Like a lesson of someone doing or acting out in behavior that is behavior you wouldn't want to emulate. So it was a bad lesson in that you saw what not to do when interacting with this Father of Wands character. Other things that came up, I think that it gets back to a state of comfort once you get through the obstacles of, especially with that person, and you find your way through and overcoming that, you get back to a state of feeling comfortable with yourself again. But it really is a trial by fire this week. And I think there was a lot of regression, and yet in spite of that regression, you started to move towards growth this week. So congratulations, that's huge leaps. Also, decisions were probably taking you down a tough path with a false sense of security. It was just me trying to read my writing. It probably you probably learned that some of the choices weren't the best ones, and even though it felt really good, you knew it wasn't the right place to be. And so next time you can make some stronger choices. I also think that over this last week, you probably found that it helps you to work harder alone than it did with other people. In particular, there was only that one other person who was primarily related to coming out this week, and they were still a bad example. So more than likely, it was great for you to be working alone this week. And I would also include that one of the biggest challenges is that masculinity, no matter what gender you identify with, probably got in your way today. And by masculinity, I mean things like stubbornness, ego, acting before you think about what you need to do, or sometimes speaking before you think. And it may be helpful for you in situations like that, similar to this last week, to reach out for guidance from somebody that you find to be a strong mentor or caring friend who can give you the insight you need. All right, I hope this is a helpful review of Coming Out of the Tarot Closet. Coming Out Tarot Forecast. It's a little bit more insight on top of that daily work that you could have been working on, just to take you a little bit further. If you're looking to find out more about me and where you can find out more about me, head over to ComingOutTarot.com, where you can book readings with me and find out what events I'll be at, where I'll be out and about. I will be out and about for Bastille Days next weekend, this coming weekend, July 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, 15, I think. This coming weekend. And the following weekend in Chicago, I'll be at the DePaul Art Museum doing readings for folks for a wellness fair. So I hope to see you all there. All the details will be up on ComingOutTarot.com. I hope you're having a great weekend and hope you all had a happy 4th. Thanks, everybody. Bye.